saw, the benefits with EXP and saw the, stock, that's really something that I knew that I was comfortable with, something that I knew from my, previous company is like, okay, I know about stock, I know about stock options, I know about investing. So all that made sense to me where, someone coming in that's unfamiliar with stock options and how stock can really grow is, somebody that, or sometimes I feel like that might be, fall on deaf ears or just like, they might not necessarily understand that. So that's something I caught on to really quickly. And I was like, okay, I like this. So I was like, okay, so the more I sell, the more stock I can earn, it's like, okay, great. So
Right. Yeah.
why not build that up?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up. So maybe we can take a little tangent here and talk about that because you brought up the stock awards or the stock option as well. So I believe you're referring to the agent equity program where agents are essentially able to have like a stock buyback at EXP where they take 5% of your commission and invest it at their EXPI stock at a 10% discount. So is that's the one you're referring to mostly?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, when I saw, when I was thinking about different brokers and I saw that the, EXP offered that type of essentially offering stock in the company and the agent equity program, I said, well, okay, that makes sense to me because that's kind of what I'm used to in the past. So I like that, I like being able to, essentially as essentially as, why the same reason why I got into investing, I wanted to, you know, start something that will grow in the future, something that would, I've always been about long-term type things. I've never been about quick and easy type solutions. I've always wanted to be long-term. So, so that's what I saw when I saw the EXP model, and yeah, definitely love that part about it.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And it's like it's a complete just for listeners out there. This is like a completely optional. It's not they're not forcing you to pay 5% of your commissions to buy their stock essentially. So this is a complete optional kind of choice for the agent to choose as well. And a lot of agents are taking advantage of it. Like Tony here, who's taking advantage of it, and they see the opportunity as well. So I mean, kind of want to revisit something you just said, which is that you like to think long term and you like to think about not just quick solutions that are essentially going to solve an immediate problem or going to provide like an immediate return, but you like to think long term. And do you think that's something that you know doesn't necessarily have to be even a business owner or entrepreneur, but like as an individual who want to potentially build a better lifestyle for themselves? Do you think that's something that everybody needs to do, is to think about delayed gratification and what you're doing now and how what your time is being spent now and how that has an effect on you over time versus just, is this going to provide me a solution or is this going to provide me a return on your time right now, to essentially build a better overall lifestyle that we're just talking about.
Right. So, I think for my point of view is, yeah, I feel like if you're just going for if you're just trying to do something that'll get you over the next year or next month, you know um that might work for some things, but it's not, it's not like it's not something that in my opinion should be relegated like something that you were talking about, a career. So, your income that's going to be impacting yourself and your family. So I feel like, yeah, for sure, long-term solutions. I've it just it works out best for it's always worked out best for me. You know, if you think about who are the people that you admire the most, what would they do in their situation? What kind of things, ideas would they, you know, what would they be thinking about? How would they think through this? And if you can essentially, you know, think that way, you're going to make a good decision for yourself and for your family.
Right. Exactly. It's more about, you know, what, like I said, like what your time return has on your life in the future versus just, you know, am I spending this time right now? What is it gonna essentially give me back right now? So like you can almost think
Right.
of it, you know, as if you're a real estate, you know, investor and agent on the marketing side of things, you know, if you spend time the same hour cold calling somebody or cold calling a list versus that same hour, you know, writing a blog post or putting out a YouTube video or doing what I'm
Right.
doing now, putting out a podcast.
Yes.
You know, which one has the better return on your time, right? Because you can only
Yeah.
cold call that list once and they only get your call
Yes.
once versus if you put out marketing, it stays there forever. It can generate you leads, you know, even later as
Right.
well.
Right. Yeah. And that's one thing, you know, I admire about how you built your business. And, you know, you for sure are, you know, you're much younger than me. But I admire your business savvy and what you've been able to accomplish. So it's like, you know, um, I'm I don't think I've modeled myself after what you've done, but I definitely am learning from how you're building your business. And I'm going to be picking your brains pretty soon because, you know, I feel like I've kind of going through this kind of retail cycle, you know, I've got the investment, I've learned the retail cycle. And I know that, you know, like I've known in the past is like, okay, this retail cycle works, but at the end of the day, it is still short term and it's transactional and it's something that, and not the way I intended to build my business in the first part. And it's not the way I will be building it